Hello, Libra. Welcome to your reading for April 20th to the end of the month. We're going all the way. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's jump into it. As you can see, you have a little guest. Ruby wanted to, she saw me doing your reading. She's like, oh, can I make a little cameo here? So Libra, listen, you've been going through some stuff, all right? Your life is changing. I hope you know that, especially coming after that full moon in Libra that we had. Oh my goodness, you got some, and that, remember, that story's not over. And why don't I just kind of briefly tell you where you are now? Because we've got to remember that, I told you in your 2025 forecast or annual forecast, this is the year everything changes. Like, we have every planet changing signs. We have all the outer planets changing signs. Starting now, you saw Neptune move into Aries, Saturn moving into Aries next month, Uranus moving into Gemini very soon. So Pluto and Aquarius, everything's changing. And you're feeling, remember that big wave of energy that you felt at the end of March. Yeah, we're still riding that wave as you move into this new era. So you are feeling a really big shift. I did say April is going to be a bonkers month, and it's a very pivotal time now. This is that graduation, true death and rebirth moment, like Phoenix rising from the ashes, okay? You even see Pluto has come out to play. Okay, who represents that. So there are about 5 storylines that you've been going through, and this is it. This is where, and I'm talking about your story, your life story, your commitments, your journey. This is their convergent point. This is going to be a big moment. They're reaching a climax for your new start, new beginning. And a lot of these storylines started in January. And of course, I'll walk you through it, okay, on what was happening for you. And another thing is, like, in your monthly forecast for April, there are some things here that I barely touched upon because I just didn't have time. And these are big. Okay, so I just want to make that. I want to make that very clear that Venus conjunct Saturn, that's going to be really big. When I see what's happening for you, I look at your chart. I'm like, okay, well, your lives are truly, truly, truly changing. You're going to be in very different places. Okay, by the time of next month, even your birthday season. Did I even tell you that how Mars is in Leo now? Well, Mars is going to be in your sign during your birthday season. You got, just wait, just wait. You got a lot that's about to happen, even with Jupiter moving into Cancer in June. Whoa, that's your 10th house of fame. So you got a lot happening. You got a lot to look forward to. Your life is changing. You're evolving. You're riding this big wave. Your consciousness is expanding. You are seeing and having experiences that you've never had in your life. As I said in your annual forecast, even, in your monthly forecast, because April is when you see a lot of stuff happening. But remember, it is the year of the Great Awakening. Okay. We all know that. So everyone is awakening. That's part of the consciousness expansion. Neptune moving into Aries is, pivotal. That's even you harnessing into that leadership, that spiritual warrior, that empowered energy, especially when it comes to your connections and your commitments. And it can be love, and it can be career, and it can be your babysitter. It can be your personal motorcyclist, whatever resonates with you. But just know that you're feeling these strong energies. We're all in air and fire. We're living out this AC/DC song right now. There are no retrogrades. Use it. Use this forward momentum in the new direction that you're going. Okay. But remember, a lot of it is, you doing you, contributing to the collective or humanity or your family or your relationship or your squad or your neighborhood. All right. So last thing is, remember, I said last week, a lot of these energies in fire air, they can be a little aggressive, like tempers flaring, a lot of egos, okay? So just continue on your karmic journey. You're Libras, y'all are fine. You're balanced, you're good. Just know there are going to be some tests, as I said in your monthly forecast. This is when we get to that point where there are a little bit of tests that are going to be coming around. And again, with some of these overwhelming energies that you're feeling, because everyone's been feeling it, right? But in different areas, every sign's been feeling in different areas of their lives. Just look at my last live stream. The last two, actually, I talk about it. The one, like, we need to talk. a little pep talk, and I tell you exactly what's happening and why you're feeling some of these strong energies, even outside of, I'm talking about geophysics. I'm talking about the Earth's frequency, the solar flares, on top of the astrology and patterns. And, the last live stream I did, like, use some crystals. I tell you which ones to use, which ones are good for health, which ones good for intuition. So take a look at some of those now, the cycles that we're going through now as well. All right. And I'll leave them at the end of the description, or in the description box, or at the end of this video. But just know, April, this time now, as you move into May, that is very caterpillar to butterfly. It's very, when I talk about transformation, it's very the Fool card, right? Card 0. This new journey. And remember, all these planets hovering that 0 degree Aries point. All these planets leaving Pisces, moving into Aries at the very beginning. 0 degrees is the very beginning. Okay? So go ahead and, get comfortable. I'm going to give you a lot of what you can expect. Okay? Go grab it. A Jamba Juice. All right? Do they still exist? I don't even know. Now let's get to, and you tell me, maybe they do. I don't know. Smoothie King. Listen, Sunday, April 20th. Here we are. We move into Taurus season. Whoa. Buckle up, Libra. Yeah. Buckle up. Buckle up. That's all I got to say. Before I even talk about Taurus season, remember last week. Yeah. So I gave you 4 major aspects, right, that are happening on the 20th. And I said, you're going to feel them last week. You're going to start feeling them this week. All right. So please look at your last week's reading, because those are 4 very different energy signatures that you please use them. They're here to help you. Okay. 2 of which we just never experienced. And so you want to use, they're important for your journey. And you want to use them. Okay, so please look at your last week's reading for like Venus sextile Uranus, for Sun square Mars, for Mars trine Neptune, all of that. Mercury conjunct Neptune. Anyway, you saw that, right? It impacts you significantly, and this can explain a lot of what's happening here. So go back to that. Now, Taurus season. This is going to be big for you, Libra. All right. So first of all, welcome to Taurus season. So for the next 4 weeks, this Taurus energy helps you stay grounded. Okay. Taurus being an earth sign. Taurus is very earthy. Out of the earth signs, it's bringing in that grounded energy, like I said, especially with all this fire and air. So it helps you get centered. And Taurus season is all about stability, and it's all about resilience and, resource, your physical world. Yeah. Remember, physicality, your material possessions, resources, shopping, even, wealth. All right. Finances. Taurus is a finance sign. And Libra, Taurus rules your 8th house. So what does that mean for you? Well, you're coming out of this whole, you're actually still going through it, all right, with all this Aries energy, all right? That is your opposite sign. So a lot of energy, emphasis on partnerships and relationships and legal matters and one-on-one commitments, as I mentioned. And again, that can be love, that can be career, that can be your boss, that can be your lawyer, that can be your accountant, that can be your lawnmower person. You know what I mean? Like, again, just whatever resonates with you. But now you're moving into your 8th house for the next 4 weeks. And so that brings this intensity and depth to your one-on-one commitments, to your relationships, especially love, especially, business partners. And 8th house is wealth building. So a lot of focus on investments, okay? And inheritance, joint bank accounts, shared assets, bonuses, commissions, loans, taxes, right? We're coming out of tax season, things like that, all right? 8th house is death and rebirth. So you see what's happening for you, Libra. It's like you've got the biggest emphasis here on this big change, personal transformation that you're going through. Okay? Big transformation, true butterfly, caterpillar butterfly story for you. And then remember, this Taurus energy actually really does help because you just get grounded and all that in the wealth building and, whatnot. But anyway, this is all about for the next 4 weeks, you asking yourself, what does make my heart sing? What is, what do I find beautiful? Yeah. This is a time of like sensual pleasure, sensuality. Yeah. Taurus is the physical, like I said, that's the body too. So if Aries is the I am, Taurus is the I feel. So I want you to use all five senses. I want you to go outside. I want you to go in nature. I want you to do some earthing. I want you to do some grounding. I want you to connect with nature. You're going to feel the big difference when you do that, okay? And so what's happening for you is everything that's been happening since March that's been building, now you're applying it in your physical world. Yeah? Now you're applying it for that wealth building to, feel empowered, okay? And taking actions to, inspired actions for comfort. Taurus is all about comfort and security and wealth, okay? And when I say wealth, yeah, that means something different to everybody. It can be finances for you. 99% of y'all are going to feel it, yeah, especially if you're Libra rising, but every Libra is going to feel this. But wealth in your relationships, wealth in your career, wealth in your, family. This is your time. So take that action to build the world that you want to live in, all right? What works for you? And again, that sensuality, I can't even... just please, and it's not just physical, it's mind, body, spirit, yeah? What moves you? Music, art, bananas, whatever it is. Taurus rules food. So that's a sense, taste. Anyways, so you get what I'm saying. Your one thing that I'm gonna say is, Libra, yeah, I really want you to take any inspired actions where it's going to move the needle forward for you, because one thing about Taurus season is that because it is a season of comfort, sometimes people can get a little too comfortable where they just wait for things to happen, or they don't do much to take those inspired actions. And that's for everyone. I'm not like, that's everybody. That's just what Taurus season is. If there was like a lower expression. So just continue to move forward on your journey. Now, Monday, April 21st, we are here. I talked about it for 2 months now. So we've got Saturn and Venus conjuncting the North Node, but then look at April 24th. All right. We have Saturn and Venus conjuncting. These are the perfections. So you've been feeling this all month, right? And now is the time. And I want you to think of the 21st to the 24th as a package deal, all right? Because it's all happening at the same time. And so the North Node conjunctions on the 21st with Saturn, with Venus, around that time, right? 26 degrees. And we're going to talk about that later. But first, what are the chances that 26 degrees is linked to Taurus? Interesting, right? So really strong. And I'm going to show you why this is going to have a big impact on you. And remember 26, okay? I'm going to bring that up a couple of times. So as I said in your monthly forecast, I do this so you can prepare. So, right? So please use this, okay? So you can benefit from it. But Venus and Saturn, they have been with the North Node for some time. Like I said, they've been dancing, they've been singing, they've been drinking Zima, they've been, laughing, negotiating. Now it's like, okay, let's pull out the paperwork. Okay, so what does this mean for you? Well, remember I said there's about 5 major storylines happening for you. One is a Venus-Saturn conjunction. This is a big story playing out since mid-January. I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to look back. Remember, take notes, mark this down, okay? And come back to this or look back at it. January 18th to about the 21st, and then the rest of January. What happened? What happened around that time? Okay, there could have been a big impact in terms of the way that you were feeling about the direction you wanted to move forward in your life, in your daily life, in your lifestyle, especially work, colleagues, employees, bosses, your responsibilities when it comes to work. There could have been health. Health matters. This is all happening in your 6th house. So health matters. Maybe you joined a gym. Maybe you started doing Pilates. Maybe you changed up your diet. Maybe, the 6th house does rule the digestive system too. Okay. So whatever it was, pets are part of that too. So there could have been like vets involved or doctors as well, physical therapists, personal trainers, things like that. But here's the thing. Around that time, you've been mapping out your true purpose, your destiny. your mission statement. That's when the North Node moved into Pisces. All right. So the direction you're going. All right. That's the North Node. So the past few months, you had your ruling planet Venus, and then you had Mercury, and you even had Mars all retrograding, giving you this time to reassess, right? Remember, I said, use that energy to reassess, re-examine, reevaluate your goals instead of getting like, everything's retrograde. No, it was time for you to rethink my new direction. What do I want moving forward? So you spent your time doing that, and now you have this fated convergence point. Okay, so Venus, your ruling planet, what does that mean when Venus is going to conjunct here? That means you are asking yourself this week, what does bring me pleasure? What does make my heart sing? Venus is exalted in Pisces. Yeah, that's great. So there's something really sweet and beautiful and compelling here, especially when it comes to love, especially when it comes to relationships and money and creative projects and creativity and beauty and passion and harmony, diplomacy, Venus being your ruler. You would know all about that. And now you're putting it all on the table. All right. You're mapping out your karmic journey. You're chartering it, right? Is it charting it? You're charting it. So Venus is heart. We know that, right? So this is a heart-based living. I want you to feel it now on this date, this week, in your soul. What do you want? How do you want to feel? Okay, what's going to move you? Yeah? So, heart-based, okay? Think about what your heart, your soul wants. And to be honest, all you're going to be feeling it around this time. You have a North Node activation, Venus with a North Node. So, think of the North Node as your spiritual GPS to your destiny, all right? So now, and a lot of this, again, with a lot of y'all, it's going to be work matters. It's going to be your daily activities. It's going to be this huge shakeup in terms of like what I want moving forward for my daily life, okay? Health as well. Now, Saturn is a different story, all right? Saturn, as I said, in your monthly forecast, okay, can come in hard this month. Saturn is structure. Saturn is bones, all right? And I really want you to pay attention to that, Libra, out of all the signs, with the fact that you have the North Node, Saturn and Pisces in your 6th house of health. Saturn can be literal bones, all right? So just keep that in mind, all right? Remember, we're taking care of our health now, especially with the, South Node in Virgo, where you're eliminating things that are no longer, serving you. All right? So Virgo being all about health. So Libra, here's the thing. Saturn's all about the long term. And Saturn's authority too, and he does bring those reality checks, as I mentioned, but the main takeaway here is he's life lessons. Therefore, he's karma. Saturn represents karma. And so you've got karma, Saturn, on the point of fate and destiny, your North Node. So this is going to be a big moment for you, because remember what I said in your April forecast, you got to put in the work. Saturn's making you put in the work. And he's going to be testing you and challenging you. You got to pass his test. So at this point, if you haven't been putting in the work for the things that your heart desires with Venus here, right? Saturn can be a little like Gandalf, and he's going to say, like, you shall not pass, right? So you got to ask yourself at this point. And, I dropped these readings a few days before the actual dates. So start thinking about that. Like, have you passed Saturn's test when it comes to what you want, what your heart desires, what you want moving forward for the long term? Ma'am? Have you learned your karmic lessons since January? Do you know your goals, the legacy that you want to leave behind? If you don't know at this point, that is fine. All Saturn is going to do is he's going to say, go back and do some laps until you know. Right? Because what Saturn is doing here is he is going to amplify the North Node, which amplifies that sixth house area of your chart. And so the other thing is, if you have worked with Saturn, if you stay true to your authentic self and you put in the work and you got over any of those speed bumps that we had the past few months, boom, you're good. Mission accomplished. You passed. You reap your karmic rewards, right? Saturn's is like, Great, congratulations. He gives you a pat on the back. He said he gives you the sticker, and he's like, move on through. I'm going to offer you support, stability, structure for your commitments and your devotion and the long term. Okay? So keep that in mind. Saturn is the authority. You know that. So someone in your life, an authority, and looking at you, yeah, it can be a boss. It can be an investor. It can be a doctor. Any of that. Like they could literally be the person that makes things, opens doors for you right now. Okay, they can be that builder for that bridge for you. So keep that in mind. It could even, when you think about Saturn, he's also like the father, father time, Saturn's chronos. So it literally can be your father. It can be a father figure. It can be a grandfather. Saturn is time, right? So just bear that in mind. And just know that everything that you went through, the challenges the past few months were tests for you to know what direction you want. So it helped. You see how it helped, okay? Because now you know. Now you know. All right? And this is your destiny, Libra. This is your destiny. Saturn was just saying, how much do you want it? How much do you want it? Okay? And Venus and Mercury retrograde, remember, that was a time for you to reassess with the new direction, this brand new era you're moving into, this whole new world. And Venus is pleasure. You know this. Venus is your ruling planet. She's harmony. She's sweet. But then you got Saturn, who's hard, and he's all about limits. He limits you, and he's disciplined. He's actually on your side. But Venus being, hot, right? Saturn being cold, there's compromise. There's got to be compromise because they're so different. But Venus is exalted, Venus is in her throne, in her chariot. So what she's doing is she's softening Saturn's edges, okay? And just remember, Venus was retrograde when she conjuncted Saturn April 7th during your full moon, all right? So there was something that you were truly reassessing. There was something about commitments you were truly reassessing. And again, in any capacity of your life, and for new ones to arise, or even just, ascension in current ones. Huh? It was all about seeing the big picture for yourself. Now that Venus is direct and has all her power and is exalted in oh my God, Pisces, like, whoa, she got power. So what she's doing, Ruby, you want to get down? Okay. Or no? Okay. What she's doing, I'm going to put you down, but you want to say hi to the Libra? You want to say hi to Libra Nation? You want to say hi to Libra Nation? Okay. So, okay, Ruby. There you go, baby. Ruby loves y'all. So what Venus has, what Venus is doing right now, Libra, is that why do I have my headphones on? Venus is, sorry about that. Venus is, she's softening Saturn. Saturn can be hard. So she's softening his edges. She's going up to Saturn. She's like, dude, chill. What the, like, come on, chill a bit. Give them this love. Give them all of this. Give them what their heart desires. So it's good. It's good. And remember, Uranus sextile Saturn. Remember from April 4th, I said, hey, Libras, we haven't seen this in 30 years. Libras, this is going to be a big thing for you. Libra, you're going to feel this all year long. Libra, Saturn is with Uranus now. Uranus is the son of Saturn. Uranus is all about breakthroughs and innovation and evolution, your revolution, your freedom. And now he is going to his dad saying, Dad, bro, what? Like, give them this change. I'm trying to make change for them happen. So that's great too. He's loosening up Saturn. So Libra, make that great change. Okay, this is your big break. Yeah. Now, what really amplifies this on April 24th, when Saturn and Venus conjunct, which again, this is a perfection. This is powerful. You're going to really feel it. It's a conjunction. You're going to feel it the entire time. But this is the day. And so obviously every Libra is different. You may feel it, days before days after, weeks before weeks after. This day, it's not just Saturn and Venus. It's Saturn, Venus, the North Node, and the Moon, all in Pisces. All right, all doing this epic, they're the Siva tribe. They're just like, there's a big group hug. This is your healing path. This is the North Node in Pisces. Remember, that's a spiritual awakening, and you have it here all year. But this, you got the moon here. You got the moon here now. What? So what is so special about this? Well, I'm going to tell you, Libra. And you can't make this up. Like Venus is conjuncting the moon. That is so romantic. I love it. I love it. But the big thing here is that Venus is at her degree of exaltation. So what does that even mean? Venus is in her throne in Pisces and being carried by people. Yeah. When she's exalted. But now when she's at her exact degree of exaltation, now she's being crowned. So love, beauty, romance, harmony, pleasure, all of that, epic proportion here, epic cosmic proportion. Remember, heart-based, please, heart-based, okay? All in Pisces, right? North Node in Pisces, that's spiritually moving. Moon in Pisces, that dream energy. This is my big dream. And we're not going to have this again until actually Valentine's Day 2026. So I want you to know, all these planets on the North Node, your purpose, your destiny, they're actually helping you. All right, they're helping you. Look at my last live stream. I talk more about it. All right, and even if you have your North Node in Pisces or the opposite or whatever it is, like I talk more about it. You know who has it? Mike White. Okay, come on. He's going through his North Node return, and he's the director of the White Lotus, and anyway, I talked about that and you see he's getting anyway, like a lot of it, like things are happening for him, his future, his destiny. Anyway, moon conjuncting Saturn, that can be hard, but because it's all about discipline, right? But again, this is happening in Pisces. What have I said about this? Saturn is making your dreams become reality. Okay? But you got to put in the work. And Libra, I tell you this all the time, and I don't want you to forget this. Saturn is actually exalted in your sign. Yeah. You're going to feel this. So this is all about, and we'll talk about it more in your second spread because we talk about the lunations there. But this you're establishing new rules. It's clear as day. New rules for yourself, new habits, new lifestyle, new everything to reap your rewards. Yeah? All right. And you're going to have deja vu from the last week of March. There's things coming up from last week of March. But typically, if you don't know, the moon is your mother. Okay. And Saturn, like I said, your father. Or they can be like mother figures, father figures, grandmother, grandfather. So they're likely going to be somewhere in the mix here. Okay. Now, it can be like a boss. You know what I mean? Like, just think that. Anyway. And so remember what I said, Venus, Saturn, North Node conjunction at 26 degrees. Okay. So let's dig. So, like I said, that's the Taurus degree, just out of sheer coincidence, but wink, wink, not really, right? Everything happens for a reason. 26 degrees in astrology is the degree of love and creativity. This is bonkers. Libra, use this. It's creation. Think the Empress card. And what I love about 26 degrees in astrology, and you always see this, it is a culmination point. It is that enormous sigh that you have after going through choppy waters. So it's truly a blessing right here. And this truly softens the conjunction. Okay. Now, what I'm about to tell you right now is going to be really important. And again, I want you to take notes because I'm helping you plan out even May. Because next month in May, Saturn does move into Aries, joining Neptune. So it's like Pisces is passing Saturn to the Aries part of your chart, saying, I'm done with her. Remember all the planets leaving Pisces, crossing that 0 degree point of fresh new beginnings into Aries, the fresh new beginning of Aries that's all about initiating the pioneer. And so now you're going to have Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, commitments, all of that. Fresh new beginnings. Mercury passed. Everyone's passing. So this is fiery. This is leader energy. This is that whole new, it's a whole new energy to your destiny is what it is. Okay. Now, I'll talk about more next month, but if you're a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon, and I really recommend it because you're going to find this a little bit more, or if you watch for your husband, or if you watch for your, girlfriend or your crush or whoever it is, everyone's going to feel this greatly. Everybody, but mutable signs. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, of course, right? They're going to feel it the most. If you know your birth chart, your natal chart, if you have any planets between 23 to 29 degrees in any of those signs that I just mentioned, it does not matter which one, because you look at the angular aspects, yes, you will feel it the most out of anybody, right? Because this is more exact. Now, and of course that's going to be big. Now, let's talk about Pluto. All right, Libra, how much time I got? Oh gosh, let's talk about Pluto. All right, so Pluto is gonna come in hard. All right, Pluto is a second checkpoint. Saturn was a first. Pluto's a second. He's like the Incredible Hulk. Okay, why? Because Pluto likes to break things. He likes to break things down for that rebirth. Remember, I said you are going through your 8th house moment for the next 4 weeks, and more to come. I'll tell you. But Pluto is literal transformation, right? Incredible Hulk, from the scientist to the green monster thing, right? But this is your death and rebirth moment. This is big, okay? This is really big. And Pluto is very psychological. I've talked about this. He goes really deep, right? Remember, we're talking about Pluto, ruler of the underworld, unroots things, bring things to light, very forensic. This is you going like, right? Just like Bruce Banner, okay? We're nerding out the scientists, the physicists. So again, anyway, you're definitely going to see more of the green superhero side, all right? This week, Wednesday, April 23rd, you got the Sun square Pluto. Now, Sun in Taurus, Pluto in Aquarius, you got 2 fixed signs, right? That can be a little challenging, okay? They're not seeing eye to eye. They're fixed signs. No one's really budging. But, Libra, you throw in the fact that the Sun is squaring Mars too from, remember, Sunday. So you've got a 3-way square off here, okay? From Sunday until now, okay? That's the hot spot. And so remember, Mars is in Leo. Mars is freshly new in Leo, another fixed sign. Mars in Leo is amazing. But remember, this is a square. So now it can bring up those lower frequencies of pride and ego and man spreading. You know what I mean? Like that kind of energy. So nobody's budging in this square off. No one's seeing eye to eye. This is a lot of power trips, a lot of power struggles, a lot of egos at play. Remember, Mercury is in Aries. I told you that can be very aggressive too, the way that we're communicating, even nonverbal communication. There's a sense of wanting too much power here, too much control. Everyone's going to feel this, so it can be you as well. Now, what's happening here? Please pay attention to what I'm about to say. You have this activated 8th house, 5th house, 11th house. So Libra, first of all, this is, okay. You've got Pluto in Aquarius in your 5th house. That's great. You've got that for 19 years. That's amazing. I love that for you. And it shows that there's the 5th house is pleasure and joy. That's all you got to know. All right. It's romance. It's true love. It's sex. It's family. It's children, creativity. It's self-expression. It's hobbies, recreation. It's all of that. Yeah. And then you got Mars and Leo in your 11th house, your future hopes and wishes and dreams, but also your community, your benefactors, allies, friendships, your squad. It can even be like a LinkedIn community. And 11th house is also social media, just throwing it out there, okay? Now, you've got the Sun in Taurus in your 8th house. Remember, partnerships, business partners. There's going to be some not seeing eye to eye around this time with a little bit of, I need control. I need too much control, but it may not be you. It may be someone else. So just remember, you're Libras. You're all very diplomatic. You're all about compromise. Tap into that energy. You're going to be fine. The great thing about this aspect is, great physically, okay? It builds confidence when you use it correctly. It's very motivating, okay? Pluto and Aquarius is innovation. It's forward thinking. It's revolution, but also revelations. Things come into the surface. So there may be some things here that this is you, okay? It's the sun that shines light onto something. So Pluto's going deep. Very, like I said, very psychological. There could be some immense clarity you have around this time, like unrooting things, but freeing yourself from a situation or a person or a partnership or a commitment that is just holding you down. Something that you recognize, I can't, or something has to change. But I'm going to be very diplomatic about this, all right? And this is just to move the needle forward for you, okay? Just making sure that nobody takes your power, all right? But also, don't let anyone get your goat or your scales. People are going to be in moods with an EW, all right? So you are on your path to enlightenment. How exciting is that? You're on your karmic journey. This is absolutely amazing. All right. Just remember, that's what karma is action. Take those inspired actions. Okay. We're talking about karma here. Everything has ripple effects. That's why we say actions have consequences when it comes to karma. So heart-based living. Repeat with me. Heart-based living. Okay. Not ego-based. That's what this wants you to do. When it's a square, heart-based, okay? Remember, this is your empowerment. Use your, instincts, intuition, but just be flexible too, all right? Again, look back to January 20th, mid-January to about... Actually, just look at the entire month of January. Yeah, okay, but January 20th is when we did have the Sun Pluto Cazimi, right? The Sun conjunct Pluto. It is powerful. It only happens once a year. It sets up this cycle for you, and a year cycle, all right? So now you're at just a little plot point along the way, just a little one. So see what came up for you around that time when it came to true love and romance and things that bring you pleasure and joy and creative projects. And the way that you express yourself and procreation, babies, and even, sex. Because what's happening here for the next 4 weeks, remember I said you got Uranus and Taurus in your 8th house. And that's deep. And that's relationships too. And that is sex, like intimacy. We'll call it intimate. We're all adults here though, right? But you got Pluto and Aquarius. And those are the two houses that rules like sex and intimacy and like even procreation. So, okay, see what happens. Now, Friday, April 25th, you got Mars opposite Pluto. So this is an opposition. This is strong. You're going to feel this the entire week. You're probably feeling it now. It's a buildup. You're going to feel it the week after as well. This brings heat to the kitchen. All right. There are a lot of cooks there. Yeah, because this is not seeing eye to eye. And this is like cooking. It's like Top Chef. A lot of like, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. A lot of egos. But before we get there, again, we had this in November, early November. We had it January 2nd. So think about what happened end of January or end of December, the first 2 weeks of January. All right. Because Mars went retrograde too. So that was like adding this whole other element of like, whoa, especially for you with career and things like that. But anyway, family and home too. Okay. But this is the third act. This is the last opposition. This is done. End of this story. All right. The last one. We won't have this for a long time. And so these are the two most powerful planets, Mars and Pluto. Very West Side storying here. All right. And Pluto just happens to be the higher octave of Mars. So what does that even mean? Pluto is taking all that energy from Mars, that fiery energy, and amplifying it. Okay. And so, yes, again, there's going to be egos, power trips, come at me, bro energy, especially with authorities, especially with bosses and, authority figures and whatnot. But then when you look at what's happening for you, yeah, something community based, there could be something here with your lover. There could be something here with a creative partner. There could be something here with a friendship. Again, stay frosty, be cool. You're on your path. And it's just like, this is just a testing moment, another testing moment. Okay. And again, some people some of y'all just may not feel it. If you're vibrating at a high frequency, and this is why I always talk about energy, you won't even know this exists, any of this. Okay. But this is very choose your battles wisely energy. Remember, I've talked about this channeling your energy constructively, not holding anything in, because that's when you have because one little thing can make you, yeah? So, at this point, Libra, listen, look at what we've been going through, yeah? Look how far you've come. Look at how far you've passed your test already. Don't let this little thing, think about how far you're about to go. I just gave you some very good dates of what you can expect in your future. Think about that, all right? Just don't let anyone take your power. Mars is physicality, action, passion, willpower. Pluto, very transformative. Like I told you, use this physically. Go, build a fort. Yeah. Go build a banana store. Do what you need to do. Do some power walks. Okay. Creative projects. Channel your energy constructively. Start a relationship. Do whatever you need to do. Go to the, New Radicals reunion concert. Just channel this productively. Yeah, do some hot yoga, cold yoga. It doesn't matter. Just take that inspired action. You're going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. But there is going to be some things coming to the surface. FYI. All right. Pluto is the underworld. And it's actually amazing to think about, people who were born with Mars opposite Pluto. Remember, Pluto is like dark, right? It's the further, it didn't get no light. It didn't get no light from the sun. It's so far from us. So darkness. And so that's why it's like it's like we taught when Pluto, it's like doing shadow work too. But like Mary Shelley, Bret Easton Ellis, and the books that he writes, those dark, Ian McKellen, and some of those dark, like villain characters he plays in his movies. So you see how I'm saying, like, you can use this in this constructive way, but also just even physically kickboxing. Just what's great here is that you have Uranus that is in Taurus right now. Remember that. That's going to sextile the North Node. Whoa. I briefly mentioned this in your monthly forecast. It's actually a lot bigger than you would expect, but I'm going to talk about more in the second spread. I'm running out of time. That's huge, okay? Because there's something bigger happening here. And you're just going to change. You're just changing. You're becoming a lot wiser. I'm looking and seeing some of y'all are going on big trips. And do it. So what's really amplifying this energy this day? Okay, Mars opposite Pluto. Why is it going to be different from the one in January? Eris. Yeah. So we'll talk about in the second spread because I'm running out of time here. But Eris, that's where we talk about the planetoids, asteroids, but really the big some things happening. Eris is Mars's sister. So when you think about Mars, the god warrior, the warrior god, a fury of war, like you got Eris, his sister, the feminine warrior, the spiritual feminine warrior. You know Eris, you know your Greek mythology. She threw the golden apple at the wedding to stir things up. We got a fixed grand cross here with Eris in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and legal matters and commitments. So we'll talk about the second spread, but just have that outlet. That's all you need to do. Have that physical, like, you're going to be fine. Be diplomatic. You're Libras. You're going to be fine. And she's right on Chiron, FYI. Fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Aries. I'm throwing in there. You're going to feel this the most. And if you, Libra, have any planets between 1 to 5 degrees in your birth chart in any of those signs that I just mentioned, you'll feel it the most. Now, let's close this out. Sunday, the 27th, you got that new supermoon in Taurus. That's happening exactly at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be New York City time, my time. Convert that to wherever you are in the world because this is a supermoon. What does that mean? It's the biggest one of the year, by the way. It's orbiting close to Earth. Are we going to feel this? Yes. It's close to Earth. It's the biggest, and it's not a full moon, it's a new moon. When was the last time you saw a super new moon? So big energy here. Why? We have a T-square with the sun and Pluto and the moon. They're not seeing eye to eye. They got their collars flipped up. This is going to be loud. All right. So all that energy that we've been this week, it's building. All right. However, this is a new moon. Nonetheless, it's a new moon. What do you want for the next 6 months? This is in your 8th house of wealth building and partnerships and taking them to the next level. Business partners, inheritance, investments, loans, royalties, joint bank accounts. 8th house is, like I said, is death and rebirth. So remember, Pluto's coming in. That's bringing that energy for you. You're transforming. Caterpillar, butterfly, what do you want? Plant those seeds. It's a Venus ruled full moon, new moon. You know Venus rules Taurus as well as you, right? So, and there is something happening here that's just absolutely amazing that I love. That will, again, second spread. The moon is exalted in Taurus, by the way, FYI. So the moon does its best in Taurus. Use this. But what have I been repeating the whole time? Heart-based, soul-based. Don't plant seeds or set intentions based out of like fear or, you know, what these lower frequencies, these other energies are trying to do. No, heart-based, heart, soul, spirit, please. Why? This new moon, 8 degrees. So this entire time, 8, strong 8 energy and numerology. It's at 8 degrees. First of all, 8 degrees is the critical degree for fixed signs in general. Okay, obviously includes Taurus. This is an 8 degree new moon. It's technically 7 degrees 46. Doesn't matter. You round it up close enough to 8. Doesn't matter because 7 plus 4 plus 6. What is that? 8, right? What are the chances? 8 is auspicious. 8 is prosperity. It's success. It's wealth. You're in your 8th house doing wealth building. In Taurus, a sign of wealth and finance. Libra, please tell me you're going to make things happen. All right. 8 is harmony. Think cosmic harmony, spiritual, the material. Think of the infinity symbol, the circle 8. All right. I'm not even going to into it, but the ancient civilizations, all the Pythagoras, who basically invented numerology, all the ancients considered 8 paradise. All right. Buddhism, 8 petals of a lotus. Buddhist, this is your spiritual awakening. This is enlightenment. Think of the lotus flower, right? It's going through the mud to be this beautiful. Anyway, what is your paradise? What is a vision you want for yourself? What is a reality that you're creating for yourself? Use this moment, please. Libra, I'm getting so worked up for you because you've got this window of opportunity and I really want you to use this. Libra, all right? Now, oh gosh, another thing that's going to happen is going to be the next day and there's going to be a really big shakeup for you. Talk about in the second spread and it's actually enormous. Who's going to feel this new moon the most? It's going to be the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and you. And Capricorn and Virgo, okay? So, if you watch for rising or moon as well. Now, if you have any planets in any fixed sign or earth sign, okay, so that does not include Libra, but if the fixed signs or the earth signs, then between 4 to 10 degrees in your birth chart, yes, you're going to feel this. Lastly, wrapping it up, Venus, your ruling planet, moves into Aries again. Yes, again. Now you've got Mercury and Venus together again. Yes. This is Superman, Supergirl, tag team in Aries, fiery. You've got this until May 10th. You got to work this. You got to use this. Mercury, mind, Venus, heart, mind, heart. Let's have that coherence, okay? This is going to be big, okay? We'll talk about it next week, but remember, Venus was in Aries all of February, then went retrograde in Aries in March. What did you want when it comes to commitments and partnerships? And one-on-one connections and marriage and legal matters. What did you want that you couldn't get? All right. Because remember, Venus and Mercury went retrograde together just up until a few weeks ago, last week. Remember, they're in Aries now, new beginnings, leadership, entrepreneurship, very independent. Venus and Aries alone is very like, sorry, I'm going to get this. Get out of the way. It's all mine. Yeah. So this is you now getting what you wanted. You got Venus and Aries until June. Whoa. All right. Now, let's just get to your spread. That's it. All right. So, obviously a lot of other things happening. Libra Nation. Oh my gosh. Let's see what's going on for you. Libra. Oh gosh. Let's see what's going on for you for April 20th to the end of the month. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay. Libra, y'all are amazing. Okay, let's see. I got Libra. I do a traditional cultic crossroad, offers the best overview. And yeah, if we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Secondly, Libra, you know I love y'all. Libra Nation, you are definitely going through some things. You're changing. Your life is changing. You know I love y'all. Don't, like, I don't even know what to say. You're good. You're absolutely good. Just know what you want. There's going to be something coming through that there's going to be a big life change. You see that here. Oh my gosh. You're good. You got the Hierophant. There you go. What I talk about, that spiritual warrior. There you go. What I say about you rising up, you being, seen and being a role, like even with like Jupiter and Gemini in your 9th house, bringing that expansion and that blessing and spirituality. And the 9th house is like the house of God. So it's like, that's like the wise one. That's someone with like inner wisdom. That is the teacher, the, ancient philosopher, the role model, all that right here. Yeah. A lot of structure you're bringing into your life because of that divine energy that you're feeling. All right. He loves organism. It's all about wisdom. All right. You see a little element of you here with that balance. Everything here is like really balanced, but you see the 2 monks at his feet. So yeah, if you're going to lead, there got to be people to lead, right? So he's got the triple crown. Like you're good. You are going through this true spiritual evolution, and that changes everything when you connect, even intuitively, right? Even like, all of that, tapping into that spiritual warrior, Neptune and Aries. You're good. You're great. And funny enough, the Hierophant is Taurus as you move into Taurus season. So it's all about you and your transformation. Remember, 8th house of death and rebirth. Anyway, you're good. You got the 9 of Cups in the heart of your spread. You're getting what you want. Remember, I said, what'd you want? What'd you want in January? What'd you want in February? What'd you want in March? You're going to get it right here. 9 of Cups. Okay. Why? This card is attributed to Jupiter and Pisces. It's a Pisces card. What does that mean? You got the North Node in Pisces. Your life is changing. Like everything's changing. You got to know. You got to know what you want, right? Saturn saying, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah. But you got it right here. Make that wish. It's a genie in a bottle. I say it all the time. Genie in a bottle energy right here. Okay. A card is of complete satisfaction. Like, I'm happy and I'm proud of myself and I made some achievements and I'm being recognized and I feel enlightened. Look at the cups over his head, right? That's feeling, that's sensuality I was talking about. That's that love and emotions and even relationships is cups and intuition, whatever it is, you're good. You remember your last week's reading when you got that 2 other tens? Like, come on, you're good. You're coming out of something, moving into something new, right? Like, well, that's not a 10, but like, this is really, really great because 9 is that fulfillment that we've talked about 9 anyway in your last week's reading. Knight of Swords. Someone's coming in hot. Someone's got things to say to you. All right? Be mindful. Be cool. Okay? There's someone that is going to be a little... And that's what I said with the energy this week can feel like you're going to be fine. Just be like, oh, hey, let's just talk this out. Come on. Let's get some, sweet tea. But yeah, someone's coming in hot and you're just going to have to compromise. All right. See eye to eye, but don't let anyone take your power because he's coming in really hard. Like no one is going to stop him from saying what he needs to say to you. Okay. Even there is a sense I'm getting like manipulating you. It's very possible. All right. So just don't, or someone playing mind games too, but it can be even like spontaneous, impulsive. You didn't see it coming. Now, the other thing that is coming through is, well, I don't want it to be you. So remember what I said, don't be that person. Right. The other thing that's happening here is that there may be some things like, I want you to work on your throat chakra. If there are things that you need to say and you're just, Yeah. But diplomatically. Yeah. Seven of Cups in your crown. Do you know what you want? Are you manifesting? Are you putting all your energy in the right things? Spend that time now thinking about it. Venus and Saturn. Remember, Saturn's going to be like Gandalf. All right. So you got to know what you want. Okay. Are you really manifesting the things that are true to you, being your authentic self? Yeah. All right. So just keep that in mind with that Seven of Cups here. You're going to have opportunities, though. You got that Hermit. Love it. Root of your spread. You're going deep. You got the Hierophant and the Hermit. You're going really deep. All right. Use it. What do you want? Moving forward. Go deep. That's how you know. Trust that light inside you. Remember, heart-based. All right. Take some time out. Even if you need to just be like, y'all, I need to just for a second. Right. Go in nature. Yeah, that's all about wisdom. You got wisdom here. You got the 2 columns from Solomon's temple. You heard of the wisdom of Solomon, right? You got the Hermit, was all about inner wisdom. Yeah, take that time. Take that time for yourself. And then lastly, you got the 2 of Pentacles in your future. All right, so there's this, there's something coming through that you wanted. Now it's like, okay, I got to tell the other person like this is ending, or there's an adjustment here, or this is a new path we're going on, or this is, we're going to be diverting this way. Whatever it is, there's a newness to it, okay? A very big newness to it that maybe you've never had to make this decision before. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're ending one thing for another. For a lot of y'all, it will be 1000%. But it can also just mean, there's so much going on. You're going to have to like prioritize, okay? Just keep that in mind. What is the thing that you want the most, right? The most. Prioritize it, all right? Don't make excuses. And because he's the juggler, so he can be here forever, for infinity. You even see the Pentacles bound in the symbol of infinity. So just keep that in mind. Just let things come together. And once again, I would not be surprised if it has something to do with wealth. I already talked about this, with money, with finances, or a new job. Or an adjustment, maybe a side hustle you brought on. That was your wish come true. Your Instagram's blowing up, or is it blowing up or glowing up? You know what I mean. But anyway, so whatever it is, because you got social media activated, right? Your 11th house, like I said. But yeah, so it's like, let's just balance things out. You're going to do it naturally. It's not even, you're going to be fine. I already feel it. You're Libras anyway. Y'all are all about, your sign is the scale. Libra, if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. Libra Nation, what's going on with you? I want to know. And I love y'all. All right, so let's get to your stuff. Oh, yeah. You get Chris Farley. I just saw it. You get Chris Farley. Yeah. Anyway, you're good. You got the King of Cups. Yeah. Heart-based living. What I say? You heard me. That's this coming up saying, oh, yeah, I'm a Libra. I heard Jimmy say that. So I am going to do heart-based living like the King of Cups, who's so emotionally stable, and he leads with his heart, and he's the rock for other people. He has so much empathy and kindness, and very intuitive. He trusts his intuition. His throne's on choppy waters. Doesn't matter. He's on top of his emotions. Nothing's going to knock him off that throne. That's you. Nothing's going to knock you off that throne with that heart-based living. What I say, you got something brand new. Ace of Pentacles coming through in your external factors area, the biggest ace in the deck. What I say about wealth building? What I say? I heard you. You heard me. This is amazing. The biggest pentacle in the deck. Yeah. So again, money, finances, wealth. But wealth in different forms. It means like if you're not even here for money, that's fine. It's just building this, like what's that? What does wealth mean to you? Because pentacles are a physical reality, but you see the golden pathway here, this new pathway. That's what aces are anyway. You have this new moon in Taurus anyway. That's in your 8th house of wealth building. Like, use this, please use this. And that even like affirms there is something new that you're just going to have to just bring that balance in. You're good. You got something big. It can be a new job. It can be, but again, your physical reality, like when you look at what's happening here, there can be something with marriage. There can be something with, having a child. There can be something, there's so much. It's like, what is your wish? 8 of Swords, but where it falls in your stuff, it's just saying, I'm done overthinking, overanalyzing, getting in my own way. Yeah. Creating, we call this a self-victim card. And where it falls in your staff, it's just like, yeah, that's the last thing I want. I'm over it. I'm over it. You're right, Jimmy. I have gone through a lot. I'm leaving all that in the past. I feel empowered. All right. I'm not going to put myself in that position ever again because why? You got judgment in your final outcome. You're good. You're good. That's a huge spiritual awakening, right? What I talk about, the gray columns, the hermit, a card that's all gray, all that wisdom. Well, you see, you've got an archangel in your final outcome saying, I got you. Secondly, blowing the trumpet. Okay. What is that? That sound. What sound? It's frequency. It's high frequency. What is that? It's healing. Okay. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about high frequency, your energy, high frequency. Okay. Because look at what's happening. It's waking the dead. What are the dead? What color are they? They're gray. Wisdom. So this is your awakening. You're having an awakening, a profound spiritual awakening. I told you, you got some spirit. You're good. You're good. I love this. There's something big happening for you in this huge, amazing way. And again, like, remember what I said with Venus and Saturn. Saturn is like, have you passed your test? If you haven't, you got to go back and do some laps again or whatever. That's at 7 of Cups. So again, there is going to be this. You're going to know what you want, and then boom, everything's working out. You know, you're good. You're good. You're out. You're great, Libra. You're great. Just don't let anyone get your scales. Libra, y'all are amazing. Shoot. Okay. If you like this reading, would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. And the second spread, yes, we are going to do a second spread on the new moon alone. I'm going to talk about some of these lunations. There is a lucky day. Jupiter is coming through. There is something happening at the end of March that's coming back up. We're talking about Eris. And then, yeah, that thing that I told you about the North Node with Uranus. That's major. All right. So tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to become, members and join. But next week we'll do May, and again, there's big things in May. Libra, I am so happy for you. I'm so proud of you, Libra. This is amazing. Happy, you're good, Libra. I'm very excited for you, Libra Nation. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.